I didn't see you there. I was living in the moment. No, just kidding. We all love the internet and social media. Social media is a glorious thing. You can keep in touch with people that live really far, and you can talk with people about common interests. And you can add new friends. There's just so much. But you do have to watch out for who you are becoming friends with. Hi most amazing fam, my name is Abby, and today I'm bringing you top 10 scary friend requests. So I feel like sometimes I forget who I have met, and then I don't mean to be rude. What I mean is I will see a friend request on Facebook and I will really have to think to myself, have we met? And yes, I feel guilty, but it happens. Because I don't know, I'll be like, what? On my phone, were you the person that I bonded with over our love of board games at that party last Friday? Or not? I don't know. That happens. So, today I'm gonna go over the reasons you should be careful online with who you friend. So let's get into the list. Scary friend requests. At number 10, we have the wrong person to friend. So imagine that sending one friend request gets you thrown in jail. That happened to an Eritrean man back in 2016. While on Facebook, he saw a pretty lady and decided to send her a friend request. But that woman happened to be the wife of one of the world's most notorious human traffickers. And that Eritrean man happened to share the same name as him. Prosecutors believe the man was the wanted criminal under disguise and detained him and put him in jail for 3 years. He was only released this year after a judge in Sicily acquitted him. They confirmed he was a victim of mistaken identity. So make sure you really know someone before you send a request, because you never know who's watching what you're doing. Apparently. Facebook, Zuckerberg, you know. At number 9, Jillian Stick Up. So Jillian was sentenced to 6 months in jail after pleading guilty to 3 counts of menacing by stalking involving a total of 3 victims. So Stick Up met the first of her 3 victims she harassed at an event in 2011. She messaged them on Facebook and called them incessantly. Any type of rejection seemed to increase her anger, and it only got worse and worse. For one of her victims, she targeted a sensitive subject: miscarriage. One of the people she targeted had recently lost a child. And then Sticka, over Facebook and everything else, claimed that she killed her unborn child because she didn't know who the father was. And then Sticka also tweeted that God hated them and that's why they lost their daughter. Now, all of the messages like this led to her 6 months in jail. It was helped by one of the victims keeping documents of the harassment, which is a tip for anyone out there who fears they may have a cyberstalker online. Keep those receipts. But that all came because Jillian befriended one of them. Friend request. Knew who they were online? Tactic. But let's go on to number 8, location. Now, sometimes it can seem very eerie how Facebook recommends us people it just shouldn't know about. Like someone you met once on vacation before you had a Facebook account, or your ex's new girlfriend. In one case for someone, it was even scarier. On Reddit, someone commented on a post that their friend who is a dancer started getting clients as her recommended friends on Facebook. Either way you read it into that scenario, it's just not an optimal situation. I can imagine some business type's wives peering over his shoulder as they watch a cute cat video on Facebook, and then all of a sudden she points to the corner and says, who is this? And then lo and behold, it's that dancer that you gave extra 5s to when you were at Zanzibar when you told your wife that you'd be at karaoke. That's kind of a rude awakening. So it turns out Facebook may be tracking your location to optimize your friend requests. So be warned. Okay? Number 7, many faces, many facades. So one man had been catching up with an old coworker quite a bit when the friendship began to take a turn. The woman he was talking to was going through a hard time. She told him about her anger problems and her refusal to get help. She told him she got so angry once she put her boyfriend's mother into the hospital. The man was starting to get uncomfortable. At that point, it was feeling too much for someone who wasn't a close friend and probably more of an acquaintance. And then the man started getting aggravated messages from her boyfriend's profile online. And he realized pretty quickly that it was her doing it. And then more and more different accounts started requesting him as a friend and immediately started messaging him in argumentative tones. He posted this story on a forum asking for advice, so let's hope he blocked her and that she got the help that she needed going through a tough time. Number 6, online enemies. Author Lori Gelf had an issue with a cyberstalker that would send awful messages. Not to her, but to those around her. Using many different online identities, whoever this person was, they would accuse Gelf of being a predatory, narcissistic, sadistic, and toxic person. First, they contacted her son's principal, and then her husband. She thought that maybe she could get away with it and get away from it all when she went on a writer's retreat, but nope. After she was tagged in a photo with a friend at the retreat, the friend had to come to talk to her. She just received a message with more of these allegations. It ended by saying she is a wolf in sheep's clothing and has no conscience. After calling out her stalker on one of their curated profiles online and threatening to call the police, the messages trailed off. On to number 5, clones. It's scary when someone you don't know is hiding behind an account and targeting you, but what about someone you do know? like yourself. So Facebook cloning scams have been around for a while, and the person behind it scrapes photos, information, and anything else you have made publicly available on your profile. They amass it into a new one big account under your name, and then they reach out to your friends and family. So one woman had her account cloned, and the clone reached out to the woman's nephew and asked for money. He noticed the fabricated sob story and reported it, but these clones aren't always caught. In some instances, they are more in-depth and sinister. When I was young, I heard a story about a duplicate account that had been in the works for so long that people couldn't tell the two apart online. Then, one started becoming more and more toxic, spreading rumors about others and effectively ruining this person's reputation. It was high school, and so people were pretty skeptical on who did what, but it's messy business regardless. If you see something like that, report it. At number 4, we have a fake gig. 2 men were arrested as suspects in a modeling scam. They allegedly would pose as modeling agents on social media. They used the guise of people trying to help young girls become models, and they would lure the girls into hotels and bars and take their money and personal belongings. They took off with phones and money under the pretense of registering them for model jobs, just taking their phone and being like, I'll just be back, one sec. But this scam was even seen advertised on Instagram. People who thought they had an opportunity would sign up for a meeting, only to have these 2 men take their valuables and run off. So it's good to hear they have been caught, but I hope people are careful because worse things could happen if you are lured into a bar or hotel by a stranger. Be wary. At number 3, we have jealous boyfriend. After receiving a friend request from a woman named Casey Birmingham, Ryan Clegg was quickly messaged by the woman's boyfriend. The boyfriend, Jordan Standing, warned Clegg to stay away from her or he would end him. Just over a friend request. Wow. So then Clegg felt like he was being followed one day just walking around, and it turns out he was. He was then assaulted by Standing, and Birmingham's own brother was present. Clegg had to be hospitalized for his injuries. This all happened because the jealous boyfriend learned that Birmingham had added Clegg on Facebook, and it ended with Standing sentenced to 7.5 years in jail. Just because of a following on Facebook. Wow. Okay, number 2, cyber stalker classmate. So what started out for one girl in Florida spiraled into a nightmare. A fellow classmate started out messaging her, saying nice things, but then the messages began to get weird and excessive. She told him to stop, but the messages only got worse. One example is that he sent a message to her screaming, saying, "Please just listen to me and let me be nice. We need to talk face to face."
Please just listen to me and let me be nice. We need to talk face to face!
And that doesn't really do it justice, because it's very, very scary. He posted many different threatening speeches on YouTube, and the young woman definitely felt scared. She said, "He went to places he thought I would be." He sent threatening tweets like, "It is up to you to save your life. I have no options. I will not be arrested." He then hitchhiked and was homeless following her around Florida, just trying to find her. Once he was caught, he was sent to jail under 16 violations of repeat violence injunction and 1 conviction each for aggravated stalking after an injunction, aggravated stalking with a credible threat, and violation of section 836.10, which is a Florida section. But because I don't need to go into all of law, let's move on to number 1, murder on denial. Fun pun. Okay. One woman murdered 9 people after they denied her friend requests. She was caught after there were a string of murders with similar cards left at the scene. It would be a card with a Facebook-like friend request and accept and deny, with the deny checked off. On it would also be written something along the lines of, "Maybe next time you'll be my friend on Facebook, or "Who's got more friends on Facebook now?" Detective Horner, who worked on the case, said authorities found the perpetrator guilty quite quickly. All of the victims were from her same apartment complex. And then when they checked her Facebook, her bio said this: "If we're friends on Facebook, we cool. If you don't want to be friends with me on Facebook, we have a problem." Specifically in her About section, it said, "If you don't accept my friend request, I will kill you." And obviously, that threat, in connection to what was found at the murder scenes, really made her look guilty. And so, on that note, that's all I have for you today. That was top 10 scary friend requests, and let me know if you have had an experience like this, maybe not that specifically, but a scary friend request one, or anything like that down below. And while you're down leaving a comment, make sure to give us a like and subscribe and click the bell to be notified when our videos go up. Also, check out our Facebook page and all of our social media. We got Instagram, I got Instagram, the editor of this video has Instagram, that's how it is. We all have Instagram, it's social media, friend us. But anyways, until next time, check out your privacy settings. Goodbye. This is true. That was so funny. I was like, I can't do this. Jesus, just cut. And then lo and behold, it's that dancer from Zanzibar that you gave an extra 5 to when you told your wife we were, yeah. So author Lori Gauf, author Lori Gauf, okay. Author Lori Gauf had a, oh no, I keep bending down because I can't see it. And this all happened because the jealous boyfriend learned Birmingham had added so much. He hitchhiked and was homeless following around Florida. He then hitchhiked and was homeless following around. He then hitchhiked. He then hitchhiked and then was homeless around. That word sucks. Okay. He then hitchhiked.